you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick podcast, your #1 sports destination.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk facts.
We're giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
Play it on the car ride, play it when you lounge. X and O, you know that we can hold it down. Shout out to my man Sammy, got it off the ground. And to all the listeners tuned in right now, got debates, analysis, and speculation. This is sports talk for the new generation. You know where to find us, got a reputation. Sick podcast, your #1 sports destination.
Giving all our devotion, riding high on this wave of emotion. Going all out, yeah, cause this is our time. No, ain't no stopping us till we reach the finish line. All in, we came here to win. We're gonna give everything. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick. On fire, we're ready to fight. We'll bring the house down tonight. S-I-C-K on the run. S-I-C-K, sick, sick.
S-I-C-K, it's the sickest podcast. Tune in for the audio, or you can even watch back. Giving players all the props or put them on blast. We don't give no hot takes, only talk back. S-I-C-K,
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 S-I-C-K.
Turn up your volume. Because you're about to listen to The Sick Podcast. The Eye Test with Pierre, McGuire, and Jimmy Murphy.
The Stanley Cup winning Colorado Avalanche. And after 22 years, Raymond
The sickest NHL podcast. It's gonna be sick.
And welcome to another edition of the Eye Test here in the Sick Podcast Network. Pierre, McGuire, Jimmy Murphy here. Pierre, how are you, my friend?
I'm good. I had a blast with you this morning interviewing Dane Jackson from North Dakota.
Yeah.
Jimmy, that was a ton of fun. He's a heck of a coach. They got a really good program being built again. They've got some tremendous young players, really special young players. There's a real good chance that Keaton Verhoff could go number one. You know, and I know a lot of people didn't think that before the season started, but there's a real good chance he will. Cole Reshny's been phenomenal, the 18th overall pick of the Calgary Flames. They got, you know, and he was raving about Will Zellers, who was traded to the Bruins last trade deadline. So there's a lot there, and it was a ton of fun talking with him and just watching him react to some of the questions we asked him. I thought it was good.
Well, and I think too, Pierre, your North Dakota background, including your family history and also the amount of times you've been there scouting or just to see games, helped a lot. And I just loved hearing the stories about the community there and also how much that team means to that community. He made a great analogy, I thought, comparing it to the Packers.
Yes.
And what that is all like there in Green Bay. So I really enjoyed it. Good stuff. And I'm definitely we will see him long before then, but they are going to be a fun team to have in Belfast for the Friendship Tour in 2027.
I agree.
Looking forward to that. Pierre, you know what? Before we get into the stuff from last night and look ahead to tonight, I want to stay a little bit on that note in terms of scouting, because I always love listening to your scouting stories, and you're going to be going on some more scouting trips now with elite prospects with your new job as senior advisor. What's been your favorite city to scout in all? And it can be a small town in Sweden, Finland, what have you. It doesn't matter. Favorite city to scout in, also the toughest one to get to.
Oh, the toughest ones would be in Russia for sure. Russia would be the toughest for sure. Well, I don't want to just pick one because there's so many.
Right.
But you know what? I'll tell you what, landing in Regina, getting a rental car and driving around, especially back in the day when the Saskatchewan Junior Hockey League really mattered. And, you know, you drive down to Wilcox, Saskatchewan, and you see the big grain tower, or big grain elevator, I guess you would call it, right next to the school. And you walk into, you know, Athol Murray Arena there, and you just like, wow, this place is so full of history. So many players have come through there, driving to Humboldt or going into Yorkton or North Battleford, down to Weyburn. I love doing that. There was one great one. John Chapman basically saved my life one day. I'm not kidding you. I was scouting and I was staying in Lethbridge, but I had flown to Calgary and drove down to Lethbridge, and I checked into the Heidelberg, I think it was called at the time. I think it's still there in Lethbridge. Okay. And I drove from there to Medicine Hat, and it was daylight. It was broad daylight when I drove there. And when I got back, I heard this horn honking behind me, like when I got to get in my car after the game, and it was Chappie. It was John Chapman, who was scouting at the time for Philadelphia. And he said, "Hey, Pete," he says, "you got no taillights." He goes, "Where are you going?" He says, "You going back in town? I'll follow you." I said, "No, Chappie, I'm screwed, man. I got to get back to Lethbridge." He goes, this is how good a man this guy is. Yep. He says, "No problem." He goes, "I'm going to follow you. Which hotel are you in? You either at the Lodge or you're at the Heidelberg?" I said, "I'm pretty sure I'm at the Heidelberg." I was at the Heidelberg. Yeah. He followed me the whole way.
Wow.
But if I didn't know that, like back then, especially at that time of the year, the roads were not good.
Yeah.
I had no taillight. Somebody would have just smoked me off the road. Well, I remember that scouting. So I remember the coach driving from Vancouver. Charlie Hodge was our scout in Pittsburgh in the West. And Charlie and I would drive through the Coquihalla Pass, and he would tell me about all his great times, either playing for Toe Blake or playing for Dick Irvin Sr. or being friends and running mates with Jacques Plante, like legendary stories that you would hear. Yeah. You know, from him. And then he used to always tell me, he goes, "I know you like Fergie," meaning John Ferguson Sr. "Oh, Charlie, I think the world of Fergie. Like, I think he's a superstar." He used to say to me, "The toughest man I ever saw, the toughest man." Charlie would say that all the time. Oh, and we would drive up and down that Coquihalla Pass. Oh my gosh, it was unbelievable. So I have nothing but great memories. I love
The other one too, I remember, wasn't there one when it was pitch dark, really cold, and you were run out of gas?
Yeah, I was driving from Humboldt back to Regina, and there was a huge windstorm, and there was snow everywhere, and it was white out. It was totally white out conditions. And I forgot to get gas. I'm not gonna lie. I left the car running because the Zamboni driver told me to.
Right. That's right.
And
Cold, yeah.
I didn't. I should have got gas when I pulled out of town, but I didn't. And there were no gas stations. So all of a sudden, I'm looking at the thing, going, "I'm in trouble here."
Yeah. And
I'm not afraid of the cold, but you're in the middle of nowhere and you don't have anything cooking. Like, you're in trouble. So I just kept saying my prayers in the car. I'm not kidding you. And finally,
white knuckle away.
I got on the 401 or the Trans Canada, I guess they call it. I got on the Trans Canada, and I saw a Canadian Tire gas station. I was like, "Oh my gosh, thank you." I said, "I'll never do that again." And you know what, Jimmy? I've never done that again.
You always check. I had a similar experience. I wasn't scouting, but I had a similar experience. After that, I always double check and get it a little early if you have to.
Yeah.
Because prior preparation, right, Pierre?
Jimmy.
I'm learning, my friend. I'm learning. All right.
You're more than learning. You're doing awesome.
Let's get into last night and go right to the game you were really focused on, and that's the Jets and the Canadiens. For two teams that were coming in sort of sputtering a bit, Pierre, I thought, even though the Jets lost, I thought it was a really good game on both sides. I felt like both teams answered the bell in terms of what their coaches were asking them to do.
And I thought Eric Comrie was really good in goal, especially at the beginning of that game when Montreal had a huge surge. He was really good for Winnipeg. And I thought Dobish down the stretch and in overtime was phenomenal for Montreal. The Canadiens had to battle back twice in that game.
Yeah.
And they really had a hard time. They had a hard time dealing with Velarde. They had a hard time dealing with Scheifele, and they had a hard time dealing with Kyle Connor. Not surprising. But, you look at the guys that elevated for Montreal. Slavkovsky, since the coach decided to put him back with Caulfield and Suzuki, makes a difference. Caulfield was really good, especially offensively. And Lane Hudson was off the charts. He was just, and no points. He had no points.
Yeah,
he was off the charts. So Billy Guerin, our friend, was there watching.
That's right.
Those two guys, breaking news on the eye test. That was good.
Exactly.
That was good.
So, but you look at that game too. You spoke about Dobish coming back and being strong. He didn't have the best start, Pierre, and so but I love that more because it's like he recovered as the game went on, and he didn't get down on himself or anything. He just kept going, and they've needed that from the goalies a couple times early in the season where they didn't do that. But
you're good on this stuff, way better than I am. Is he going to play on Saturday, or are they going to go back to Montembeault in Toronto?
I would go with Dobish.
So would I.
Yep.
But I mean, there's been no rhyme or reason, Jimmy, in terms of how they've done this thing with the goalies.
No, but I think they need to find it and find it fast. And I look at that. You've seen Montembeault come under fire early in games and just never dig out of it, right? And his confidence sort of wears. Instead, Dobish goes the other way. That's a good sign, especially if I'm, with a goalie, that they're mentally recovering within the game. So I would go with Dobish.
So would I.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's going to be a big
so that's not it's not a back-to-back now. The difference for Montreal is they play Saturday in Toronto and then they're home Sunday against St. Louis.
Again, another back-to-back.
Yeah. I don't see them playing him, Saturday and Sunday. I would be really surprised. I'd be really surprised.
But this game has so much meaning, not just because it's Toronto.
Well, so the Ottawa game, though, Jimmy, that's what I don't understand. Like, you're playing a division. It's a back-to-back. I know what they all matter. Every game counts. I get it. But you were you didn't play since Saturday.
You would have flip-flopped it, right?
Yeah, I never would have played. I would have played Montembeault against Ottawa. No chance. I would have played Dobish.
I'm with you or not, but they will get the Leafs there Saturday, Pierre. And as you said yesterday, and I 100% agree with you, the Leafs have kind of been looking for something to grab onto, a win, a moment, what have it. Their last win could be that. And if they're able to go into Carolina tonight and beat the Hurricanes on the road, they're going to come in flying on Saturday, and we could see them finally go on that run they've been looking for.
That could be their turn right now. They go into Pitt last Saturday, they get a big win. They go into Florida, they get a big win, on Tuesday. Now they're up in Carolina. They win that game tonight. That could be the turnaround to their season. Yeah. It really could. It's kind of like, okay, Ottawa just finished a 7-game road trip, and they played pretty darn well on that trip. You take out the Dallas game. It's a weird one. Just take that out of the whole thing. But you look at the rest of that trip, deserved a better fate in LA. That would have given them 3-0 in the state of California. Beat Vegas in Vegas. Looked really good at that.
Yep.
The Dallas game is what the Dallas game is. There's not much you can do about it. But, Jimmy, I don't know the best way to say it, but Ottawa's home. It's their first game back after that trip. If they beat the Rangers tonight, I'm really worried about the Rangers. I've been worried about the Rangers for a while.
You say that a lot, yeah.
No, but that's a game the Rangers should win.
I actually will get to that later in my picks, but I'm kind of leaning Rangers in this one just because first game back Blues. Also, they got some key injuries there with Eller and Zub now being out. So
they just called Halliday back from the American Hockey League. So
he's good.
That's true too. But at some point the Rangers are either going to get it or they're not.
Yep.
And they're going to say, well, we got it against Dallas. I don't know how much they got it against Dallas.
Well, it's interesting, Pierre, like that's kind of the theme I'm trying to get to here is whether it's the Leafs, whether it's the Rangers, I feel like we're at this point, this coming week and maybe a little into the second week of December, I feel like there will be some separation. I think teams may start to get it and we won't just have this mush in the Eastern Conference standings.
Before you and I leave for Ireland, like the 28th of December, that'll be where we'll be. That'll be it.
You know what I'm saying?
I do, and I agree with you. It's
interesting. I was texting with an NHL executive today for a story I'm working on, and just I was kind of trying to get his feel. Do you think we're going to see more trade activity than usual with the holiday freeze coming up? I think it starts like the 23rd, right? Ends the 28th. Yeah. And he really didn't have an answer. He's like, honestly, he's like, Jimmy, I don't have an answer for you because of how tight it is in the East. And I won't say who, obviously, but it is a West guy. And he says, I know my team is looking to do some things, but nobody wants to pull the trigger because they don't want to do it too early. But he said, I do think if there is some separation before that freeze, you might see a little trade there because the teams that fall back will panic a bit. So that's going to be interesting to see.
No, but that's a good way to look at it. I think there's a lot of merit in what you just said too. And then you nailed this one last night. Dallas goes in Jersey.
Yeah, great win for them.
Big. Jersey's two games under 500 without Jack Hughes.
Yeah, it just shows you how
it shows you how good. And people say, well, Jack was doing this, and Jack's really good.
No, he's really good.
And he makes a lot of guys around him better. And when Jack's there, Dawson Mercer slotted differently. Less focus on Nico Heischer's offense.
Yep.
More opportunities for Jesper Bratt. Like you can go around all the different things you want with Jersey, but those are three guys that matter for Jersey a lot. And when Jack's not there, they're not as good.
I mean, Pierre, I'm comfortable saying that if Jack Hughes has been healthy for the last few years, any one of those playoff appearances they made, they finally get to the second round or maybe even the conference final. He's that important in a team.
And he is.
And he's just
I'll never forget, like that draft, clear as day. Ray Sherrill was really anxious about that draft. He was a general manager in New Jersey. And he really trusted his amateur scouts, led by Paul Castron. He really, really trusts his amateur scouts. But he also wanted other opinions.
Which is the way you should do it.
Yeah, and so I talked to him a lot going into that draft, and there were two guys that probably stood out above everybody else in that draft. And, you look at it, Jack's been phenomenal. He really has been.
Yep.
The injuries are stuff you can't legislate against. You can't. I mean, you're going to say, we'll get him in better shape. We'll do this. We'll do that. Guys are going to get hurt. It's just how guys get hurt,
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. One thing I'd be worried about, and I'll continue to say it, I'm not trying to knock the guy. It's just a fact right now. He's not playing well as marksman. I thought he was better last night, Pierre, but he is now let in the first goal in 6 of his last 7 starts.
No,
that's tough.
That's not good enough, Jimmy. I'm sorry. And I don't want to be mean to the kid. He's not a kid. He's a man. But that's not why they're paying him.
No, you can't be always behind the 8 ball like that. And
it's almost like the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks, every time I watch them play, it's like, boom, you're down 1-0.
Yep.
Boom, you're down 2-0.
Yeah.
Now dig yourself out of a hole.
I would start to ride Allen a bit. I know he's not making as much money. I know he's the quasi 1B or whatever you want to call it, but I'd start riding him a bit and see where you go.
Yeah, they got. You made the best point. Without Jack, they're a different team.
Yeah,
they're a different team.
By the
what
way,
about your other call? What about your other call?
Which one? There was one I got really wrong.
Yeah, but that's fair.
Okay.
You're not going to be letter perfect. That's where I'm going. I want to give credit where credit's due. Tourigny's got a lot of people barking about his job security.
Mm-hmm.
If he was really not popular with his players, you think they'd go into Anaheim and win 7-0?
Exactly. I thought that was good. And Pierre, side note too, I love when that happens, when the media and fans start jumping all over a coach and say, and they're like, these are people too, not usually the beat reporters. It's other ones who are not even in the locker room and go, he's lost the room. It's such an overused term, and you have no idea about this. You're not in there. You're not in these meetings with the team. How do you know he's lost the room? But they do it, right? So to see a team come back and really emphatically answer that claim, I thought that was great for Tourigny. Good for him.
I thought it was really good for Andre.
Yeah.
I was happy for him. And, how about – I can't believe Ryan Leonard. He's buckle up, everybody.
He had him on long before he came to the NHL. And
he's coming.
Ever, Pierre. He might have been one of our top 5 guests like early on ever.
Yeah, you buckle up, everybody. He's coming now.
Oh, man. And then if you get over, you're going like he's going right now.
You know what the biggest thing that's happened for him, and I'm not around their team, and I know a lot of people in their organization, and I'm just going to tell you right now, Tommy Wilson really likes that guy.
Yeah.
And Tommy's looking after that guy.
I like
and
it.
that for a kid, when you got that kind of support, makes a difference.
Makes you feel a little more bigger than you are, I'll tell you that.
And Ryan's a big kid to begin with. No, makes a difference.
Yeah.
It's kind of neat to watch some of the sound bites coming out of Washington now. Tommy Wilson talking about Ryan Leonard. I mean, it's pretty cool.
Pierre, when we think of Washington, I don't know about you, but, coming into this season, when I think of that team, I think of a heavy team, but I don't necessarily think of a team that's going to rack up 7 goals. But they've done it twice now. This is a team that can really put up some offense that I didn't see coming, to be honest.
And they're doing this without Pierre-Luc Dubois.
Exactly.
So, they're coming.
They're coming. That's another team, right? We're talking about teams separating. Watch out for them right now.
So I think now what people are going to look at when they start hiring coaches, now we shouldn't have a huge turnover in the coaching thing. We shouldn't.
No.
We talked about DeBoer yesterday. Established coach. He's going to be the first guy in the queue. No pun intended. As we talked about last year, Quenneville was the first guy in the queue. Remember we talked about it? He was. And people were getting mad. And I was like, I don't, none of us know. Okay. Mm-hmm. But he's the first guy in the queue.
Yep.
And he was. And DeBoer is now the first guy in the queue. But I think what will happen with some managers, they're going to start looking at the track of a person like Spencer Carberry, a guy that did his chores in the East Coast Hockey League, a guy that played in the East Coast Hockey League, a guy that worked his way up to get to where he is, guy that, was an assistant coach in Original Six Marketplace. That's kind of how it used to be when I was coming up.
Right.
We were looking for those guys.
Well, there's more turnover now, Pierre. I don't think there's as much recycling of coaches, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think that's fair. But I also know there used to be this heavy push to getting ex-players that just retired.
Yeah.
And
which I don't agree with.
That didn't work.
No. Let them transition.
You go look at Lemaire. As soon as he retired, he didn't coach in the NHL. He coached at Plattsburgh State. Just so people know that.
Well, I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, well, I do know. He used to drive from Montreal to Plattsburgh every day to run practices there.
Which isn't the worst ride.
No, but you know what I mean. He did it. So he's probably, of all the ex-players that have been really good at coaching, and Larry Robinson being the equation too, but Larry learned from Jacques. Jacques Lemaire is probably the best former player that ever coached.
Mm.
He's a Hall of Fame NHL player.
Yeah.
Go look at how many cups he won, and he was a big part of those cups, especially in the 70s.
Right.
You know?
Because obviously, I mean, and he was one of the greatest players ever, but Wayne Gretzky as a coach did not work.
No, that's what I'm telling you. Like, go look at.
He's the perfect example of how it's not like some cinch lock that it's gonna translate.
No. You know, Larry Robinson was a really good player, really good. But I coached against both. I think Jacques probably has, you know, better winning percentage than Larry.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm just saying. So it worked in that situation, but it hadn't worked a lot. Like, those are two that you remember that were elite players that stood out, that didn't have to go do their chores in the minors.
Yep. Not to get ahead of ourselves, so I'm prefacing this by saying this, but do you think we could ever say the same about Marty St. Louis someday?
You know, the thing about Marty that doesn't get nearly enough acclaim, Marty St. Louis is the only player in the Hockey Hall of Fame that was never drafted.
He's the only one? Wow.
Mhm.
I thought there would be at least like 2 more.
Mhm,
Wow.
mhm.
That's amazing.
Now, that's, you know, that with all due respect to the women that are in, and their category is really important. None of them were drafted in the NHL, so and some of them were in a league where there was no drafting.
Yep.
But they're in the hall, so I get it. I just want to quantify that. Yeah, but Marty's the only male player on the player side that was never drafted.
It was interesting. I was listening to Nate Thompson, former great guy, hardworking player. He was on with
Was he ever?
Yeah. Industrial play. He was on with our good friends there, Matt Marchese and Mike Fuda yesterday, and they were talking about Marty, and he used to play with Marty. And they said, "Did you ever think he'd be a head coach?" And he goes, "Hell yeah." He goes, "There were times when he was the one in the dressing room in the intermission up on the whiteboard drawing out plays as a player." Yeah. And, you know, sometimes Cooper or Boucher wouldn't be in there. They had to deal with something else. And he would go up there and coach the team in the intermission. So he said he saw it coming.
Yeah. Well, we didn't have that in Pittsburgh, but what we did is we had a lot of really smart guys. And Ronnie Francis was one of the guys that I thought would eventually get into the coaching thing. I really did. I thought he clearly wanted to go on the management side, but I thought Ronnie would be one that would get in on the coaching side.
Rex did a bit. Rex was on the Rexy did for a bit.
Oh yeah, Rexy, but Rexy was, you know, I always saw him as a player. I always did. Yeah. You know, like in the room, he was a hockey player.
He was one of the guys.
Oh man, but he was a real hockey player.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
People don't like he was a 4th round pick. You know, most people didn't think he had any chance of playing.
Yeah. I don't know.
The first time I met him was at the draft in 1990 in Vancouver.
Yeah, I love this story. Go ahead.
And I'm not going to make everything in the story, but he came because Craig Patrick wanted him there because Mark lived in Kamloops. So Mark came down to the draft and met with everybody. We were brand new. Scotty was new. I was new. Barry Smith was new. So those were the only new guys. And Badger, Bob was new too. So he met all of us, and the draft happened, and I had such a good time with him, and I loved talking hockey with him. The rest is history. But you could tell, even then, like Scotty said to me, he goes, "This guy's addicted to hockey."
Oh yeah.
I said, "Oh yeah, he is."
He reminds me of you.
He was playing. He was playing like whether he was in Muskegon a little bit more than people thought, but he was in Muskegon, and then he was up, and it was Johnny Cullen, it was Kevin Stevens, it was Mark Recchi. All those guys were buds, and they started in Muskegon. But you know, what's interesting is that he knew all the guys.
Oh yeah.
For the draft. And believe me, in those days, I knew every guy.
This is before the internet, long before.
Yeah, this is way before the internet.
Yeah.
He knew, and Scotty's like, "Is he right on that?" I'm like, "He's right on that one. He's right on that one."
It's awesome.
Like, but he was into it.
Yeah.
You know, so I knew with Rex, he was just addicted to hockey.
He was great when I got to cover him when he was with the Bruins, Pierre. I'd have conversations, whether it was at a game day skate or the practice the day before a game, and I'm asking, so who do I zero in on the other side? Like, what guy? He goes, "Watch this guy. They just called him up. He's gonna be a star." And sure, like he just knew. Like he's scouted. I know where he found the time, but he does it. Like he is.
Yeah. Well, he's doing a lot of work in Philadelphia now. He's working for the Flyers in an advisory role. Yep. That's good. That was smart by Danny Briere and Keith Jones. They got Patrick Sharp there too. Johnny Leclerc's there. They got a lot of They're not coaching though, those guys. They're behind the scenes and they're doing a lot of advising. I think that's really smart. It's really, really smart.
Pierre, before we move on to our sponsors and our Q&A, I want to bring up the Olympic rink topic here yesterday. As you said when we came on yesterday, Bill Daly on the record now, of course it's everywhere now, everyone's seen it, saying if that rink isn't the way we agreed it to be, we are not going. Is he bluffing?
I don't think they bluff.
I don't either.
I don't think he and Commissioner Bettman bluff. I don't.
I know. And we're yet to hear, and I'm going to actually, you know what, when I get off, I'm going to send an email see if they'll go on the record. And I'm going to ask the PA, what's their take on this? Because this is something the PA was insistent being the CBA, right? This is
Why do you think we have such labor peace? The Olympics was a big part of this thing.
Exactly. So what happens if they don't go? This could really blow up. Nobody's talking about this. It's an elephant in the room, but
I don't think they bluff at the head office.
No, me neither.
I just don't.
I
got a little experience.
Yeah.
I don't think they bluff.
So this is going to be something to watch, not just in terms of the Olympics, but in terms of the CBA status and, as he said, labor peace. And then finally, Pierre, and we'll segue this into my Betway picks. Brock Nelson, first time back on Long Island tonight with the Colorado Avalanche. You didn't have it as an NHL player, but you've had it as a coach when you were with Hartford. What's it like going back to a team the only team you knew, and a team that means so much to you when you went back to Pittsburgh?
You know, people always say, it's just another game. I never felt it was just another game. There were so many people that I respected that I worked with on the other side, you know, whether it was trainers, scouts, security people, you know, people that were ushers and hostesses that helped your family over time when you were working there. I never saw it as just another game. I saw it as an opportunity to say hello to people I respected and also to maybe be a little bit reminiscent of all the good times I had, you know, in a different city, whether it be Pittsburgh, Hartford, Ottawa. It didn't matter to me. You know, I had great memories in all three of those places.
Yeah. So it's going to be a special moment for him as still on Long Island. So let's get to those sponsors right now. We'll get to my picks in a bit, but first we want to tell you about Vago Italian, where Billy Guerin better be showing up soon. Vago combines old world classics and new Italian dishes for over 23 years. Private dining rooms for any occasion. Excuse me. Open Monday to Saturday evenings and lunch from Tuesday to Friday. They are located at 1336 Green Avenue in Westmount. For reservations, call 514-846-1414. Again, that's 514-846-1414. And, of course, our wonderful friends over at Betway, where you can go right now and create a membership with that QR code right in front of you. Or if you're not watching, just listening, go when you have the time to the website, go to the members section, fill out your details, and create your new membership because you'll get a great gift. And that gift right now, and hey, it's the gift season right now. It's the holidays. So that gift is a good one because even if you lose your first bet, you will get up to $300 credit back. It's free money, free play there. Be responsible with it. You must be 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. And also, this offer is not available in Ontario. Let me give you my picks right now. As I mentioned, Brock Nelson back on the island to face his former team. I like him to score a goal. It's going to be one of those.
Well, he's hot. He's hot.
Yep, he's been playing well. I think the crowd is going to give him a good ovation. He's going to feed off it. You can get him at plus 280 anytime goal for Brock Nelson. I'm also going to take the Avalanche minus 1.5 in that game at plus 130. Then we're going to go out down to Florida, where two struggling teams right now, the Predators and the Panthers, meet. Panthers are just so beat up right now, just barely hanging on. It's going to be interesting to see if they do anything heading into the holiday freeze. I like the under 6.5 in this right now. You get Saros versus Bobrovsky. Bobrovsky's been amazing, keeping the Panthers in it. I think this is a goalie's battle, so go under in that. Leafs are in Carolina tonight, as we mentioned, a big game for them playing the Canes. I like them as another underdog here, plus 170. And then I'm going to go to Boston, where the Boston Bruins host Jim Montgomery, their former coach, his first time back since coaching the Bruins. And the St. Louis Blues. I'm going to take the St. Louis Blues on the money line, minus 110. Wow. Maybe a little overtime there. We'll see. But I like the Blues. I like Montgomery to get a little revenge and come in and beat the Bruins on home ice. All right, next question. Our first question. Sinosik, I'm curious about Pierre's thoughts on advisors versus agents and the possible changes to the developmental layout should USHL join the CHL in some way. now that the NCAA can become such a massive path to the NHL?
Well,
Good question.
it is. I would just go with the advisor at this point, but the advisor eventually becomes your agent if you're any good and good enough to get a contract. It's hard to play. I know everybody thinks their kids playing pro hockey. It's really hard to play pro hockey. There's so many guys that are so good, and the game's only getting better all the time. It's really hard. A lot of things have to happen in your favor for you to get a paycheck out of playing hockey. I'm just telling you.
Yeah.
In terms of the CHL and the NCAA and how much everything's changed, it's changed a lot. And looking and the USHL, you heard Dane Jackson.
Yeah.
You know,
They that tomorrow on the eye test.
they used to dominate the USHL, and now they said, you know what, we're branching out. We're going up, and we're looking at major junior players, and that's what the two guys that they have on their team, Reshny and Verhoff, they're both from Victoria in the Western Hockey League. You know, one guy's from northern Alberta, Verhoff, and the other guy is from the middle of Saskatchewan.
Do you think the USHL will get swallowed up by the sea?
I don't know if it gets swallowed up. I don't know if that's the right term.
Okay.
But the USHL will exist, but I don't know if it'll be existing in the same form it's in right now.
All right.
Like those cities that have teams, I still believe those cities will have teams, or those towns will have teams. I just think it might be positioned a different way.
All right. We'll watch. We'll see what happens there. Next question. Randy Workman, is there a player you guys are disappointed with this season?
Yeah, I'll tell you one. JT Miller.
What? I was going to say the same guy.
Like the Rangers rolled over to name him captain.
Yeah. That would be top of my list right now.
I like JT. Like I'm telling you, like him a lot, but you're not like the whole thing in New York isn't happening right now. Now I know they're coming off an emotional win against Dallas. I get it. And everybody's kind of singing from the same songbook now because they got one win. Let's see what happens tonight in Ottawa. If they win tonight, then maybe they're getting back on track. But if I've been disappointed by JT's play, yeah, I have been. Yeah.
And I would put, and not for the same reasons as I am in Miller, but I would put Markstrom in there as well. All right, next question. Stefan Cardinal, good show, guys. Would you make a play for Peterson out of Vancouver, or Pedersen out of Vancouver, or maybe Miller out of New York? Good timing on that question.
I would, I wouldn't be afraid to get Elias Pettersson.
I wouldn't either.
I wouldn't.
And he's out there if you want him at the right offer.
You just it's got to be an offer that you kind of think is the right offer.
I wonder Detroit makes sense there.
Well, they're good with Swedes.
That's what I was thinking. All right, next question. Enter tap. Would acquiring Laurent Brossoit from Chicago be advisable and prudent for Hughes in Montreal?
Why would you do that? Because you got Montembeault and Dobis. Why would you do that? Yeah. And you got Fowler coming. I wouldn't do it. I don't
think they go external when it comes to goaltending.
I wouldn't do it.
I think, by the way, too, I think Brossoit ends up in Winnipeg.
Well, he's been there before.
Exactly, and they need it right now. All right, next question. Franco, Oliver Kapanen is approaching 50 NHL games. Have we seen enough to get an idea of his ceiling? I think he looks like he can be an everyday NHL player and is a good 3C. Do you agree?
Yes, and all that. Yes, and you know what? If he's your 3C, you got a legitimate chance to win. He'd be an elite 3C. On a lot of teams in the league, he can be a 2. There's certain things you're going to have to learn. Like the one thing I would caution him on, I get it. He's trying to show that he's not afraid and he's going to push back. But pretty soon, I don't know if you noticed, but he's getting a lot of post-whistle scrums now.
Right.
You're going to push the wrong guy soon. And when he does, it's not going to end well for him.
All right.
You just got to be – that's just – and I've done it before with younger players. You just got – and you don't take their enthusiasm out of it. You just make sure they understand, like, this is real now. Like, these guys get paid. They got mortgages. They got wives. They got car payments. Like, this is what they do for a living. This isn't messing around on a Sunday afternoon in the local rink.
No.
You just, for the young – this is for the young guys. The guys that have been there a couple of years, they know. They get it. They know how serious it is. But if that's never been your thing and then all of a sudden you get in there and you get the wrong guy, it could be very messy.
Yep. All right, next question. CCU 9990. A lot of people don't like the shootout and consider it a gimmick. Do you think it is? I think it's an economical way to end a game that showcases the skill of the players.
I'm not a big fan of the shootout. I'm not going to lie, but it doesn't mean it's not everything you didn't say. It is everything you said it is. It's an amazing display of skill, and we're seeing it get better and better all the time. I'd prefer to see what they do kind of in the American League now, go to 7 minutes, maybe, and maybe even go to 10 minutes to try to get a real decision. But Jimmy, again, why is it a problem to have a tie if you go, let's say, 7 minutes of overtime? What's wrong with a tie?
I don't know. It's like the famous saying, you just don't want to kiss your sister, I guess.
Because I know the league wants to keep as many teams as possible in the hunt.
Yeah.
And that's why they're not putting 3 points for a regulation win.
Yep.
2 points for an overtime win or a shootout win.
Yeah.
And one I coached in the league where you got 0 points if you lost in overtime.
Mm-hmm.
That's a painful thing.
Yep.
I'll show you. So when we're in Ireland, I'm going to show you how many overtime games we had.
It makes overtime worth a lot more.
Oh, man. But it's painful because if you lose.
Yeah. All that for nothing.
0. I got a lot of losses on my record that were from overtime losses.
That's going to be brutal for someone in your shoes to see it now.
Yeah.
All right. Next question. A to Z me. How good does Dallas look? Will it last? Again, good. And I think, as I said yesterday, I feel like they're going to kind of go up, not at the Colorado tier, but right below. That's where I see them. And that was a huge win last night.
Yeah, they're good, and they're overcoming injuries right now. And they got kids coming up through the American Hockey League right now. No, they're good. Yeah. So they're good. They're well coached. I think Gulletson deserves a lot of credit. Nobody's talking about him. He's done a really good job as a coach there.
Yep.
Really good job.
All right, next question. John Palmer. Good afternoon, gentlemen. What do you think about Jonathan Quick as the third goalie for the U.S.? He has been lights out this year and as good as a big game goalie as you'll find. Pure team guy, too. I love it. I love Jonathan Quick. I just don't see it happening.
I was there in Sochi in 2014. I'll never forget, after Oshie scored, he didn't go to the bench. He went right to Quick.
Yep.
And that was an amazingly emotional thing for both the Russians and the Americans. I'm just trying to think about who. I think it'll be hard for Quickie to get on there.
Yeah. I mean, because we were saying it yesterday, I think an injury replacement, it's looking more like Knight right now. So we'll see.
I think it'd be hard.
Next question.
Everything that gentleman said was spot on. Everything.
All right. Next question. Brandon. Great show, guys. Always enjoy watching on YouTube. Thank you, Brandon. Do you ever think Lane Hudson wins a Norris, and could he put up 100 points? Yes and yes for me.
Yes and yes for me, and he could put up 100 points if that power play gets over 27% and stays there. If that ever happens in Montreal, he could definitely do that.
All right. Next question. Pierre Rouchelot, do you think Panthers can come back without Barkov?
I don't.
I
don't.
They need help.
They need Matthew Tkachuk. They need Barkov. I mean, it's just it's hard.
They're lucky the East is as tight as it is.
They've played way too many games in the postseason. Then you put in the Four Nations. I always call it the Friendship Four. You put the Four Nations. You put the Four Nations in. It's a lot of hockey for a lot of their players.
Yep. All right. Next question. Randy Workman, Pierre, and Jimmy, do you expect the Leafs to address the loss of Tanev by acquiring a new D-man? I think they're trying, Randy.
Yeah, but it also depends how long. I don't think they're replacing Tanev, though. I think Tanev's eventually going to come back. I think Carlo's more of the guy they're going to replace.
Mm-hmm.
It's just because of the surgery that he has to have. But I do think the Leafs are proactively trying to find somebody, yes.
All right, next question. Franco, hypothetically, let's say 2Cs are too hard to find. Oh, they are. Would you be able to compensate for the 2C role in the Habs by giving Kapanen and Demidov an elite winger, i.e. Jason Robinson? Would that work? I don't think Dallas is moving Robinson. I'll just say that.
No, I don't think they're moving him either. I just want to check one thing here. I did a little research on this. Let's just see here. I think Montreal is going to do everything in their power to try to see if Texier can play on that line and take it to another level. Mm-hmm. He's not a great defensive player, but he can shoot the puck and he can play offense. So I think that's kind of where they're going to look, but we'll see.
We'll see. But I don't think they're necessary. Pierre, you can disagree with me. I don't think that it's the 2C is the end all be all. If they can find a winger that can help drive a line too, they'll grab them.
There are not too many that can.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. One of the best winger line drivers we've had in the league for a long time was Marcus Naslund.
Mm-hmm.
People don't really talk about that, but when Vancouver was really a force in the West, back in the late 90s and through the early 2000s, Marcus was a really important player.
Yep.
Brendan Morrison, Todd Bertuzzi, and Marcus Naslund were a line.
Wow.
That was a line. That was a number one line. And Brendan was a really good player out of Michigan. He was originally drafted by New Jersey. He was a really good player. Bertuzzi was a really, really talented kid. He was. He could get squirrely from time to time, but he was a really good player. But the guy that drove the line, and Bertuzzi and Morrison would tell you, was Marcus.
Oh, yeah.
And they played as a number one line for a long time, and they played a lot of playoff games as a group.
Well, I'm starting to get on the Stamkos to the Habs trade. I want to see that happen. I think that would be a great move.
I would love to see that.
Contract stinks. I get it. I feel like he'd be a perfect fit.
I would love to see that happen. I think that would be good, actually.
We'll see. All right. Well, that's it for our questions. We appreciate everyone's questions. As always, you do a great job. We appreciate your participation. Thanks to everyone watching and listening. Thanks to Shane working the boards up in Montreal. And thanks again to everyone in Belfast. We had a great time at the Friendship 4. And also remember, tomorrow on Campus Friday, North Dakota head coach. It was a great interview. You're not going to want to miss it. It'll be on at our regular time, 4 p.m. Eastern here. Dane Jackson joined Pierre and I, and we had a great time talking to him about North Dakota, what it means to the community, and just great hockey stories in general. So check that out tomorrow. Until we see you live on Monday, have a great weekend. He's Pierre McGuire. I'm Jimmy Murphy. Have a good one.
And that's a wrap. Hope you don't miss us too much until next time. Follow the Eye Test with Pierre McGuire and Jimmy Murphy on YouTube, Facebook, Google Play, and Apple Podcasts.